It was just a splash of oil in the pan, which my mum cooks food in for my family. Same recipe, same kitchen, every single day. But after more than 20 years of my life, I started noticing it. My stomach felt heavy, my face was puffy, my skin irritated and inflamed. And worst of all, no matter how much I trained, I just felt off. Now, why should you listen to me? I've been training for 13 years. I've helped a few guys and family members build lean physiques, and I've tested this all on myself. I go deep on what actually works for brown people like myself, or if you're someone who's become victim to consuming a lot of seed oils without even knowing. This key message I want you to take from this video is seed oils are marketed as heart healthy, but for a lot of brown guys, they destroy your hormones, your gut, and they make you fat. If you dig deeper into the history of seed oils, you'll find out that they were initially intended to be used as engines during the early 1900s. But by the 1950s and 60s, soybean oil alongside the others became very popular, and the seed oil psyop became and took over the West. Now, high omega-6 means inflammation. Now, most seed oils, sunflower oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, cottonseed oil. There's just loads of seed oils, right? But all of them are packed with high inflammatory fats, and they throw your system completely out of balance, completely out of whack. Now, this inflammation actually caused my skin to become very inflamed, and I had massive skin issues. I had skin issues for pretty much, let's just say, my whole life. I've had skin issues. Now, looking back on it, it was very, very likely that the skin issues that I used to have were because of seed oils, because I know seed oils, even in like baby formula, right? I know there's seed oils in baby formula, which is absolutely horrendous. Looking back on it now, once I stopped consuming seed oils, I just had there was a massive difference to my skin. But before that, I was not aware of what was going on. Right? I always felt off. I always felt like, does everyone feel like this? Is everyone's skin like this as at one point? But then when you realize, you start educating yourself, you're like, you know what? It must be something else. And now I know it's the seed oils. But once I started reducing how much seed oils I ate, because I was still eating my mum's food at that point, and my mum would always make food in the oil. I used to beg her so many times to, can you change it? After finding out, I would tell her, of course, right? But before I couldn't, because I didn't know what the issue was. But once I started doing that, you know what? I thought to myself, I need to make a change, which I did, which I'll tell you about later on in the video. But as soon as I started making that change, it made a massive difference to my skin, my overall health, and even how well my joints felt. Now, seed oils, they oxidize under heat. Now, I've done some more research into this, but I feel like they already come kind of oxidized. They oxidize when heated as well, right? Which is dumb as anything, because it's marketed as health, cooking oil, because people cook their food in it. So as soon as you heat the oil to cook your food in, the things oxidize it on. What oxidize means, boys, is it's broken down. It's like it's no good anymore. It's gone off. But seed oils come with deodorizers. Now, what deodorizers is the same thing as normal human deodorizers. It makes it smell better than it just makes it smell better. Now, think to yourself, why would cooking oil need deodorizers unless it's completely rancid from the beginning and they need to put something in there to mask that smell of it being off? Now, the amount of deodorizers they use is not only really bad for you, but it's actually scary if you think about it, because why does cooking oil need perfume? Because that's what it essentially is. Because the oil smells like shit anyways, despite of all the deodorizers they put in it. So it's just very, very bad for you. And when the more you research into seed oils, you think to yourself, what am I consuming? What have I been consuming as well? Now, another thing which seed oil does is it disrupts your insulin sensitivity. It's especially dangerous for South Asians, because we are already prone to insulin resistance. Now, this oil is very caloric dense. It's made up of horrible things, but it's very caloric dense. It's not like olive oil. Olive oil, you can take a spoonful of olive oil and it's full of good stuff. If you've got a good olive oil, it's full of good stuff for you. But when you consume a lot of seed oil, what it does is it gets lodged in the fat in your body. Now, this is normal, right? You become the food that you eat. If you've ever heard the saying, you are what you eat, it's 100% spot on. But if you become, seed oil, then it's a whole different ball game. And the oil gets stuck in your body and you become a part of it. It's called linoleic acid. Now, linoleic acid is something which doesn't pass through the body quickly. Studies show it takes 600 days, which is nearly 2 years, right? So just think how crazy that is. You will essentially become a seed oil. You'll become a rancid seed oil full of deodorizers. Now, if you think to yourself, why do I feel so horrible? Why do I feel, like you've got brain fog, you've got no energy, your joints hurt? This is the reason why your body is chronically inflamed. Now, it's not even your joints and everything. Now it's in your fat. It's literally part of your tissue. And what happens is, I know for a fact that food and the fat you eat goes to your brain. So that's why you're completely messed up. You're completely messed up because you eat seed oils. And the worst thing is, I've told you right now, the amount of time it stays in your body is around 600 days. So if you're someone who even stops to eat seed oil right now, right, you might still be suffering from the after effects of the seed oil for a good, a good while longer than you think, because of how long you've consumed it. Now, 2 years might be a bit later than 2 years. It might be a bit quicker than 2 years. If you're someone who has consumed seed oil their whole life, I would think to myself, you know what, this is a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a journey. I need to kind of rid myself and detoxify myself from the dangers and the bad things which seed oils have done to me, because I hope by listening to this video you realize how bad they are, right? I've not even touched the surface with how bad they are. But just know that they ruin your gut, they ruin your hormones, they make you fat. Because they ruin your gut, of course, they ruin your skin, because your skin is a reflection of your gut. Because your hormones are messed up, you will definitely find it harder to lose weight. Because of that, it will harder for you to gain muscle. You'll become, not even just gain weight, right? Chronic high insulin sensitivity has been linked to obesity, right? So if you're someone who's you thought to yourself, you know what, I don't even need that bad. Why am I gaining so much fat? Why have I become so much worse? It's because of this, because of the seed oils. The seed oils are ruining your insulin sensitivity. So what can you do around that? It's insulin sensitivity, right? Because that's a whole topic in itself. First thing you need to do is don't, stop consuming seed oil. Another thing is, from meal to meal, start fasting. And outside of the mealtime, fast all the time. So I fast so I'll just tell you my eating window. My eating window is 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. But it's not really 10 p.m. 10 p.m. is when I have my vitamins and my creatine. So I usually eat at 2 and I eat at 8. Around them times, right? It might be about half an hour, give or take. But that's when I eat, and I don't really eat besides that. I don't snack, I don't graze. If I want to eat something and I've not gotten in my protein, then I'll have a protein shake in between the two, like at like 4 or 5 p.m. I'll have a protein shake. You need to start doing that, because what it'll do is it will reduce the amount of insulin spikes you're having, and that will obviously play a part in regulating your insulin. And another thing you need to start doing is, for a limited amount of time, ideally long term, but if you can't stick to this long term, what I would do is I would stop having carbohydrates, or I will reduce my carbohydrates significantly, because the macronutrient that spikes your insulin the most is your carbohydrates. Now, for most people, they have carbohydrate-rich meals, and the protein they're consuming is very small. So make that switch to having high-protein meals, high-protein, low-carbohydrates meal, even if it's for a few days. If you can manage to do that, it'll make a big difference. Make a big difference to your insulin. You'll probably lose a lot of water weight as well, maybe even fat. Maybe you might even lose some fat. That will make a big difference to your insulin sensitivity. And of course, I mentioned before, it causes gut irritation. You feel slow, you feel sluggish, you feel bloated, and you even have brain fog, not knowing why, because of the seed oils. They irritate your gut and they make you feel tired. So what can you do instead? You might be thinking, you know what, Ismail, you've hated on seed oils for this long. What can I actually do instead to fix, to kind of not eat seed oils? For brown people like myself, not even this is not even specific to brown people, but I would always start having ghee. It's stable, it's delicious. All our ancestors from back in the day, from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, they've had ghee forever. It's very, very good for you. Now, if you're someone your mom makes something, tell her to make it in ghee. Now, if you're making something yourself, you can choose from these options, right? It's avocado oil, olive oil, butter, ghee. I'm not sure if I said coconut oil, but coconut oil's in there, or any other kind of, you can have beef tallow, anything like that, anything which is normal, which is natural, which is organic, something which you can trace and you know what's in that thing that you have eaten. So you know what ghee is. Ghee is clarified butter. Butter is literally just butter. Olive oil is olive oil. Coconut oil is coconut oil. Avocado oil is avocado oil. Tallow is fat from some kind of animal. This is what humans were supposed to eat. Humans have been eating these kind of foods for forever, up till about the last, let's just say 100 years or so. Not even 100 years, let's just say 50, 60 years. And ever since then, ever since people have started eating seed oils, the health of the general population has declined severely. Like, if you talk to someone like your grandma, or maybe even your parents, depending on how old they are, if you ask them about certain diseases, they'll all say that, you know what, when I was smaller, when I was younger, when such and such a person was around, these diseases didn't even exist. You never ever heard about anyone having cancer, never heard about diabetes, never heard about dementia, things like that. Another thing, dementia is like type 3 diabetes. It's diabetes of the brain, which is a completely different topic. But what seed oils did to me was completely, for a very long time, I wouldn't say ruined my life, but it definitely affected my quality of life because my skin was a big problem. I used to have these little spots on the skin, boys, right? Like over here under the surface of the skin. And the thing is, you cannot get rid of them. When I had them, you could not get rid of them by popping them, by doing random other things. You literally have to, as soon as I fixed my gut, they cleared up. My skin was irritated. I was always itchy and scratchy. I just felt inflamed all the time. My joints were inflamed. And the thing is, I wasn't even eating bad. My diet from the years of like 11 to like 15, 16 was spot on, right? I didn't have any sugar because I was fat for a very long time. And I realized sugar was a big problem. And I thought, you know what, I'm having these skin issues because of because of my gut, because of my sugar. So I stopped eating sugar as well, but it made somewhat of a difference, but I still was not having that much success compared to the amount of sacrifice I made because I was not eating sugar for a very long time. And as a kid, you consume a lot of sugar. You're tempted by sugar all the time. Sugary sweets, sugary chocolate. I sacrificed all of that, but still it was a seed oil which is causing me the massive issues. And inside my school community, my Elite Body Blueprint, I break down my full groceries, things to eat, things to buy, and how you can shape your daily diet around things which are suitable for your gut. Like if you want help from going from sluggish to shredded, and if you want my help, apply now for my monthly coaching. There's only 10 spots available every month. But if you want to join my free school community, I still give out free value and everything like that inside of there. The link will be in the description below, the first one. Click on that. Thank you.